Welcome to WeBeWHisky, episode number 5, I believe.
Yes, number 5 already. Holy cow.
Exactly.
I'm Sean.
I'm Randy.
And we're at the Daily Mail today.
And what are we going to look at today, Sean?
We have a very interesting new Scotch. This is a Raasay. This is made in sort of northern Scotland. It's an island. One of the interesting things about this particular Scotch is lightly peated, very summery, but also it's got a little bit of an interesting kind of backstory. This apparently is the very first legally distilled bottle of Scotch that this particular distillery has ever produced.
And it's actually a new distillery, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's
2017.
Yeah, it's new in the sense that it's registered to actually sell legal booze.
Oh, okay.
So the reality is that it's been around for a long time. It's just never actually fessed up to the government that it was selling booze. So.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a very big island, either.
No. It was 161 people on this island.
It's like 14 miles long, 3 miles wide. Like, there's not a lot of space there.
No, and you can see with 160 people why they wouldn't want to pay tax on booze, right?
Yeah. There you go. Absolutely. And it's but it's very close to the Isle of Skye, I believe.
Yes.
Just right off the coast, so they have ferry access.
Yes.
Back and forth, easy access.
Yes.
The little bit that I was reading online about it, like high schoolers.
Yeah.
That small handful of kids on the island actually use the ferry and school bus to
go to school.
to go to school on the Isle of Skye, right?
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's kind of neat.
All right.
And a little bit about this, as far as from a Puritan standpoint, it is non-chill filtered.
Yes.
It is no added color. I mean, you can see
that.
You
can see that.
Nice
like, that
clear.
Is beautiful. Like, there's no caramel there at all.
Yeah. And it's bottled at 46.4%.
Hefty, but not over the top.
No. So it should hold flavors very well.
Absolutely. Let's climb into this, Randy, because I got few words until I actually taste it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Very aromatic.
Very.
I can smell the hint of peat. Like, it's not over the top.
Oh God, no. This is lightly smoked, but it's there. It
is there. It's definitely not like a Lagavulin or a Lafroig.
No. This is actually very, very, very pleasing to the nose, which quite often very heavily peated Scotches are not. Until you taste them, are they very pleasant. This one is lovely. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, very subtle.
Well, sippage time.
Yeah. I was trying to get past the peat, past that little bit of smoke to see if there was anything else on the nose, but...
Well, I feel like there's lots of... I don't know...
Now, and maybe if it sat for a bit, it might develop a little more on the nose as well. But you know what? We're going to dive into it like you just did and have a sip. See what it's like. So what is your impression?
Now you get all the oakiness of the cask. You get, quite delicious. Now we start to get some of the summer fruits.
Add vanilla.
Very much. I don't like to capitalize. I don't want to focus on that because vanilla tends to take away from a lot of things, and that's why I want to focus on the fruit flavors in there, because there's some very, very complex little notes in that.
Like while peat and a little bit of smoke was on the nose, I don't taste that.
No,
I don't taste that peat.
No, and that's the thing. I'm not tasting a lot of peat, but what I am really enjoying is that all of the action is up here. I'm not finding a lot of it down here, so this makes this a summer Scotch. And I think this is absolutely appropriate for today because it's like 27 degrees outside.
It's a beautiful day outside. So.
Or incidentally, people, in case you're wondering why, this is a working barbershop, so there are people working in the background. My lovely wife Nadine is cutting a head of hair right now.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
So anything else on this? I'd like to say my palate isn't as refined as yours. I'm not as experienced as picking out these different fruit flavors especially.
One of the things that I'm really enjoying about this is this almost the finish. There's almost this sort of leathery finish. It's almost like as if you could taste the smell of leather. That's where I think that there's something in that. There's sort of a low note in here.
Mm-hmm. Could very well be.
Almost like an oud, right?
Yeah.
I do like that.
I mean, for 46%, it's not over the top.
It's not.
But it doesn't give me that real alcohol burn at all.
It's not taking my breath away at all.
No,
this is this is. I rather like this. It's very smooth.
Yes.
Yeah, very enjoyable.
Yes.
Beautiful color.
Mm. This I would have absolutely no reservations serving outside on a warm summer afternoon with maybe some cold cuts, crostini, some fairly robust cheese like an Oka cheese to go with that.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Is there any other cask influence on here rather than just oak? Like, is there sherry cask on it, or is there wine casks?
I think that's what's giving me that oud sense. There is another note here.
I'm trying to, as Dean taught us last time, right? Get the whiskey all over your tongue.
Exactly.
Different parts of your tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, pick up different things.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Dean, it was awesome. Have you come out? It was really fun.
That was fantastic.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yes. We'll have to have you back again. So, price point on this guy.
Yeah.
Slightly over 100 in Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
So pretty reasonable in terms of price. Definitely worth it. I'll say that.
And especially since this is kind of the first run.
Yes.
Of it, right? So
that's the interesting thing about this. If this is what they're producing in their first run, I can't wait for more of this.
Yeah. And this is just the Hebridean single malt Scotch whiskey. It's not a peated version of it. I believe they have other versions coming out
that are a little more deep.
Yeah.
This one is lightly peated.
Yeah.
Would they say Highland peat, Scottish malt, barley?
Well, I believe the peat was off of the Isle.
What do we say?
The Isle of Raasay as well.
Scottish barley malted with Highland peat. There you are.
How's that?
Yes.
There you go.
Wow.
But you know what? It is very pleasant.
Very pleasant.
Yeah, very pleasant.
So how old is this? Is there
We
an
don't
age
know.
statement on this bottle? I don't.
Nothing. No age
There is
statement.
no age statement here.
Well, so because of the regulations, we know it's at least 3 years old.
Right. Exactly. Island population 161.
Yeah. And if it was only, and it is a single malt.
Yes. It is single malt. And that's all it says.
But I mean, the whole story behind it, that backstory, is the first legal distillery on the island.
That's the thing.
Right? Yes.
So what did they produce illegally too? That's another question, right?
You know what? We're going to give it a little bit of water.
That's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that.
Just a few drops.
There
we
are.
go.
Thank you.
Give it a little swirl here. And does that change the nose
The
at all?
nose doesn't change much, but I suspect that this is going to be wide open now. Hmm.
Yeah, do you notice a change?
Oh yeah.
So what are you picking up now in it?
Well, now you get the isolation of the fruits. You get the pears. Now you get the like crisp apple, and there's something else there. There's still that leather at the end, though. I like that. But definitely, it changes with water. It changes a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it has some nice tannins on it.
For sure.
Well, yeah. I think it's a winner.
I
I
absolutely.
think this is going to be a distillery to watch in the future.
I absolutely think that people, you need to watch this distillery. Look for what these guys are producing in the future, because I think they're onto something very, very good here.
Yeah, no. I was going to say absolutely, but we use that way too much. So I'll say
Indeed.
definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. Definitely.
Well, thanks for bringing that one. You know, it's a very pleasant whiskey.
Yeah.
So we're
very
going to
nice.
switch now.
Yeah.
Go over to the other sampling. Of
We're going to move into something else
Yes.
that's really fun. So in our last episode, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. In the last episode, we talked about Japanese whiskey, and particularly whiskey that is made in Scotland and then blended in Japan. Today, in our next segment, we're going to be talking about a bourbon called Legent. And Legent is blended in the Japanese style. So, in other words, it is selected from multiple casks, blended, and then aged.
And it's interesting because this is a Jim Beam
Yes.
whiskey, and Suntory, the
Japanese
blender, the Japanese
Yes.
blender. So it's the kind of the master distillers from both
both
got
worlds
together on this.
exactly.
Right?
So this is what's so interesting about this, is that there are two great minds here that are working together and achieving something that is remarkably good.
Now, just for a little bit of research again that I did on this, they're working together because Suntory owns Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. That's
So-
right.
But they are taking, in the last episode, we had that Suntory whiskey.
Whiskey, that's
That
right.
was, I was thinking at the start that it was just a cocktail whiskey. But
As it
now you
turns out.
convinced me that it's not just a cocktail
It's not
whiskey.
just, and I'm going to
It's-
convince you that this is not just your average bourbon. That this is actually something quite special.
This is
quite
not
unique.
just a Jim Beam in
No.
disguise?
No. I think if Jim Beam could actually taste this today,
Yeah.
I think he would be completely blown away.
Yeah. So it starts out as a regular Kentucky straight bourbon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because it has, on the label, it says Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. So there's certain legal requirements to be able to put that on the label,
Exactly.
right?
So this is 50% corn mash minimum.
Yeah.
This is minimum aged 3 years.
3 years. Has to
and
be put
and
in
oak-
new
oak barrel.
New oak.
So
So what it's saying on the bottle is partially finished in wine and sherry casks.
This is where the blending
That's
comes.
where the twist comes in, right?
this is the
Yeah.
blend. So now, if you consider that we have bourbon aging for 3 years in a fresh new American oak cask,
Yeah.
then at the end of 3 years, it's moved into something else, another sherry cask or a different bourbon cask or so on. Now imagine multitudes of these casks.
So that bourbon put into different casks. Now they're blending those casks.
Exactly, like conducting an orchestra.
Yeah.
Right? So we have some high notes, we have some low notes, we bring in some moderate notes, and then we develop this incredible ambrosia.
And I wish I could read the signature on here, but the name of the Suntory
The
blender,
blender.
Sinji?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Sinji.
There you are.
Yeah. Yes, the masterful way he blends for Suntory, right?
Exactly.
Brought into this bottle.
So this is a big stretch for them, because this is now Japan consumes a significant amount of the world's whiskey production. And now they've gotten to a place where they're actually developing some really interesting stuff, this being one of them. They've played in the Scotch world, definitely. Lots and lots of distilleries in Scotland that are actually owned by Japanese. Beaumont being one of them. And then going one step further now, moving into the bourbon world, into the American whiskey world.
Right.
Where, and to be honest, the level of stringency, the level of diligence that goes into bourbon is nowhere near what it is in Scotch.
No.
But yeah,
In general, it doesn't have that complexity.
it doesn't.
At least, yes. I don't want to offend all the bourbon lovers in the world, but
Because there are very complex bourbons, but
yeah, bourbons in general are fairly one-dimensional to my
Absolutely.
palate, right? At this point in time.
Yeah.
I'm on my whiskey journey, so perhaps 3-5 years down the road, I'll be a bourbon fanatic as well. Yeah.
Wow, the nose is incredible.
I actually get cherries in here.
Yeah, and I think that's partially due to some of the casks that are blended in this particular bourbon. And buttery. Oh my goodness, that's just this light butteriness in the nose that I'm just digging all over the place.
And naturally, it's sweet. Bourbon's
Bourbon's
always sweet, right? But there's.
But the truth is always in the tasting.
Yes. I mean, yes, you get the kind of a brown sugar sweetness to it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, that's pretty standard in bourbons.
Exactly.
Well, so just a little information here. 47%. There we go.
Oh my god. Cherries. Banana.
Do you taste the sherry?
I taste
In it?
sherry
Yeah.
and bananas.
Yeah.
And this it has this very buttery quality to it, which I'm really hard to, it's really hard to put my finger on it, but it has this incredible butteriness to it. Do you taste that?
Yeah, it has that very, we overuse smooth maybe sometimes. But
Yeah, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's smooth. It's like I said, it's like almost creamy.
Yeah, in the finish.
That's where I'm going. Is in the finish. It's like it's got this sort of creamy, almost like a bourbony creamsicle. Like it's got this really lovely kind of like soothing almost. And that's what that's the word I'm looking for. It's soothing. I find this to be
medicinal.
quite. Yay, doctor! Please prescribe me more. No, I think that's what it is. It's soothing. I think it's very, very. This is to me. This is after a hard day at the office. This is just like wow.
Yeah, if you're a bourbon fan, a bourbon lover, you're gonna love this.
Oh, you are gonna
right?
love this.
It is.
I gotta say that we had 2 winners today. Price point on this guy is so reasonable. Like we're talking sub $100, Canadian.
Yeah.
And
It looked like $60 or something like that? Or?
It's a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
It's more
yeah.
like 80 or 90.
80,
But,
yeah,
but,
okay, but that's...
but still, I mean,
Yeah.
if you can find this, people, don't walk towards it, run towards it. It is so worth it. You
Yeah.
will absolutely love this.
Much more complexity in this than other bourbons that I've sampled.
And this
right?
is
So
where the blending from a master blender comes into play. We don't see this happening in other whiskeys. We see it in Japanese whiskeys where there's because of the minimalist sort of thinking in the Japanese culture, you can segment these different blends so finely. And I think that's what's happened here. Is
well,
that
yes, the experience and the skill of Shinji to be able to do this.
most definitely.
And I mean, we are used to, or at least I am used to, single malt scotches rather than blends, because kind of single malt has that kind of elite kind of...
Absolutely.
No.
And, you know, we've never really talked about blended scotches. And you know why? Because I don't... My own personal opinion, and this is only my personal opinion, but blended scotches to me don't make it worth the effort. But I know
So
that there
far,
are some that are good. I'm very biased about my...
No, and me as well. I tend to go to that single malt scotch. I need an age statement. I need to know if there's color in it, whether
Absolutely.
it's non-chill filtered or whether there's filtration going on in it, right? So
Definitely.
I like to know what I'm drinking,
Absolutely.
right? And with this, I mean, if we get rid of that and let's just focus on what it tastes like, the experience we're getting from it, and maybe that's where we're limiting ourselves a little bit when we want that age statement. Like, does this taste nice to my palate? Do I like drinking it? And if I do, really, who cares whether there's an age statement, whether there's color in it or not, right?
It is, after all, bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, it's bourbon. I mean, even in the whiskey world, though.
Yes.
Right? We
No, I
tend to
agree.
be a little bit on the snobbish side.
No, of course, yes.
You know, I mean...
it's only an 8-year.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's only
an
a
8-year-old?
10-year?
My God, yeah.
But
If you like it,
say that this,
drink it.
Yeah, this one. I'm gonna say this is like probably my favorite bourbon. I know we talked about Long Branch before, but I love Long Branch. I absolutely love that blend of the Texas Mesquite and the American Oak. But this is to a new level.
My issue, and this is just a personal opinion, my issue with bourbons in general is that they are so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't like that sweetness. I have a it's Basil Hayden.
Oh yeah,
And it is much less sweet. It is a drier bourbon.
Much drier?
At least to my palate anyways. And I prefer that dryness. And I guess that's why I gravitate to scotches, because I like that,
Well, yeah,
that dryness. I don't like that really sweet.
because this can be a little syrupy. Like a lot of
Yeah,
bourbons
yeah.
can be very syrupy.
As opposed to Nancy, my wife, she loves that really sweet bourbon. Loves it, you know? Hey.
Like, for example, when I cook, like we just smoked an apple pie.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do, I never did
Smoked
to.
an apple pie?
Yeah, we did. We smoked an apple pie.
What would happen if you like brushed really sweet bourbon on top
Well,
of it?
so that was the plan originally. We just ran out of time, but the plan was to make a bourbon cream sauce to go with it. But
That I would love.
the point that I was
Yeah.
trying to make with that is that I would not select a scotch, for example, to make a sauce with.
No.
But I would definitely select a bourbon.
Well, because it's sweet. Absolutely.
It's
right.
sweet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. No, but I like it.
Oh, I like this.
It's it has some complexity in there. It's
And to be honest, it's been a week at the barbershop. We've been very busy this week
Yeah,
with weddings
yeah.
and stuff like that.
and this is on your Friday, right?
This is our
So you
Friday.
can let your hair down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should let my hair down.
We're making a YouTube video about whiskey.
There's no whiskey on our Friday. This is
On
a
your
casual Friday, so here we are. Yeah, this is the whiskey that I want to sit back and just chill with.
Yeah,
Now I would
yeah.
have, a nice hour-long conversation before dinner. This is the perfect, absolutely the perfect bourbon for that.
Yeah.
I
Now,
like
a
that.
question. In the whiskey that we just reviewed,
Yes.
we put water in it. Does bourbon change with water?
Well, so very often bourbon is served on ice. And
know what?
so
I'm
as
gonna
time goes on, the water does infuse into the bourbon, and so it does give it a little bit of a...
I'm going to give it a little. This is probably precisely 1 milliliter.
Yeah, it is 1 milliliter pipette.
1 milliliter pipette.
1 mil.
There you go.
Now let's see what happens.
Because I've never actually at home. I have 4 or 5 bourbons on the bar, right? But I've never actually put water in it.
Never
I
added
never
water.
I never put ice in them, so it's not something I do with bourbon.
I actually, because I don't like
Nancy
the sweets
dumps
and-
Deserono into to make
my
it even
God, it's
sweeter.
sweeter.
Like,
Oh my God.
Like it's literally like drinking maple syrup or something, right?
But now, see, I would add water to this, or I would actually normally I would drink most bourbons on ice because I don't like all that sugar either, and I
Yeah.
find that the water kind of helps to sort of dissipate
And
that.
it cools it.
And cools
I
it.
mean, it chills it. I mean, it's yeah. I don't mind.
So not much difference in the nose, I gotta say, with a little bit of
No,
water.
and I don't really taste anything different on it. So I think just if it was on ice, it would be a nice, cool drink out on the patio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
I
that
would say
smoked
it's,
brisket?
I would definitely say that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
with a brisket,
Yeah,
this would be
yeah.
fantastic. Naturally colored, I would say that there's a lot of sherry cask influence in that. I would say that there's a lot of other casks in there that give it some color. I'm not sure that there's a lot of caramel in that.
And I
But
really
then
don't.
again,
I
it's
don't
hard
know
to
if
say
they
because it's
actually
so much-
color it.
And
Do they?
that's what I say. I don't know if they've colored it, but because bourbon is typically so sweet, it's
Yeah.
hard to say.
And I mean, being in brand new oak, that should bring a lot of color out of it as well, right?
Well, it would bring some color, and it should
Yeah.
bring a little bit of dryness too. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it doesn't. But then that's the corn base, right?
Yeah,
So
makes it very sweet.
very,
So,
very sweet.
yeah.
High fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again,
So
I mean, we seem to be on a trend here that we're recommending everything is fantastic,
exactly. Well, because everything we've had is fantastic.
right? So,
But I was just kind of in the same mindset though, Randy. I was just gonna say like we should actually start putting a number grade to these so that we can sort
right,
of
so we can, yeah.
yeah. So
Maybe
can
we should
track
do
them.
that.
In terms
Yeah.
of a bourbon, I hate to say this, but I want to take this up very high because it's so good. It's so different.
So out of 100, and if we set the mark, because this is all subjective, right?
Of course.
If we set the mark, say 90 and above has to be exceptional.
Has to be.
So 70 and below, kind of
Pure
your rot gut whiskey. And if we're looking at between most whiskeys, I mean, other than like, you know what, I have to say it, just regular Jim Beam.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm not really a
number
fan
7.
of it. I'm not really a fan of it, you know. Sorry guys, but that's not my thing. So I would rate that below 70.
I would, yeah, or yeah,
Yeah.
I would say below 70 for sure.
Personally, I would put this at like an 85.
You know, I was gonna say 86, and that's
hey.
kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah.
Although, man, but you know, and this is the thing. This is what makes it hard to put a number on it, even though I know we need to. It's all about time and place, and I think if we had this on a sunny patio with some dry ribs, I don't know. I'd be pushing this up towards 90 at that
No.
point.
And it's really, it's subjective. It's what you actually like.
Yeah,
So-
it is totally.
If you're a fan of bourbon, this might be just fun. It might be in a 95 to you.
It could be,
It could be. And we get,
but it's about an 85 to us.
yeah, I think it's right in there. To us, it's in that 85, 86 zone, right?
But other redeeming qualities, though, and so unlike other bourbons, this one is really, really expertly blended. Maybe it gives us a little couple more points in there.
It has some complexity to it,
Yeah,
right?
it does. It
Yeah.
really does have
Yeah.
some complexity, which again, is pretty rare for bourbon. And the more we talk about it, the more I'm talking myself into something closer to 90.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Have another one and maybe it'll be 91, 92.
This is 100.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's fantastic.
So.
Delish.
Yeah.
Highly recommend this. Definitely,
Yeah.
this is a personal bourbon. I would say that this is the one that you come home from work and you're not going to share. You know? This is the one where you just want to kick back, relax, enjoy this while you know, dinner's cooking on the barbecue. And,
That's right.
You know?
If you have a whole crowd over for a picnic, you're going to bring out the Jim Beam.
Yeah, you want to hold on to this one. I think this one you want to just kind of... Yeah, I don't want to share this one too much because it's so good.
And I know we're going to get some comments from Jim Beam lovers, right? But no, well. Again, this is just
nothing
opinion.
wrong with old number 7. It's just not as... It just doesn't have the redemption that something like this does.
No. This is head and shoulders above. Right?
Absolutely.
You know? So, and I look forward in the future.
Most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. I look forward to
more
sampling more of that
Yes.
Suntory.
Yeah.
You know, if this is what Sinji can do with Jim Beam bourbon and that.
Yeah, let's see what he can do with some other goodness.
Yeah. Definitely. Not absolutely, guys.
No,
this absolutely thing is just killing us.
Definitely. Yeah.
But
indeed. So I want to circle back to our discussion on fermentation.
yes,
This guy.
that guy.
Yeah. So we've yet to come across anybody other people who have gotten a bottle of this that's opened. But I'm going to put it back out there again. If you have a bottle of this that's open, we would happily have you come on the show and
just sample it.
Yeah. Share it and we would love to talk about it with you and just to understand what you think of this crazy scotch.
Yeah.
Because I think it's pretty nuts. I've seen some of the expressions of people who have tried it, facial expressions, and it's like, wow. So anyway, we really want to try this. Scared to open this bottle, but
The comments are running about 50-50.
oh, are they?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Open it.
Open it.
Don't open it.
it.
And when just before the show, I went on and tried searching Googling it.
Uh-huh.
And it's running about, if you can find it, it's running about $600 a bottle.
So that is significantly more than what's paid for.
Right?
So
And as time goes on, and as those bottles get emptied slowly, this one is going to be worth
a
even
lot
more. Right?
So this is an interesting experiment for us as well. And so in my head, what I've kind of said is that let's look at this. We know what we paid for it, which is $300 Canadian. Let's see in a year. If it's appreciated significantly, then we won't open it. But if it hasn't, if it stalls at where it is now,
then like $600
then let's open
Canadian? Oh, okay.
But
So a year from now, we'll give it that year?
We'll give it a year.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Okay?
Cheers, everybody. Let's see if it goes. Are we drinking it in a year's time or not?
Oh, fantastic. I don't have any left, so I'm going to have to pour some more.
Yeah, pour some in
I also want to bring up...
Just a wee sip.
Just a little sip there?
Yeah, just a little sip in there.
I also want to mention that next week, our next show, our next episode, we are going to do a brown bag...
yes, a brown bag whiskey.
So
I know
tell
what
us
it
a little
is.
bit more about
I
this.
know what it is.
Randy knows the behind the scenes.
But
Me,
Sean
I know
doesn't.
nothing
No.
at all.
So I'm literally going to bring it in a brown bag. We're going to pour it. We're going to see what you can glean from it, right?
Awesome. We're going to
The
bring
only
out our...
clue I'm going to give you is that it is a single malt scotch.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
I'm not going to tell you where it's from.
Excellent.
You know, whether it's from a distiller, whether it's an independent bottling, nothing like that. And you can tell me whether you think it's any good or whether it's no
so you're
good.
going to test my knowledge.
I'm going to test your knowledge. And this is going to be a test on whether I like it or not. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do I like it? Do I not like it? But yeah.
So, and just to be sure that we give it the actual true, you know, the true, the real test.
Yes.
We're gonna do 2 pours in this one. So we're gonna do a neck pour.
Yes.
We're gonna do a neck pour, a fresh neck pour.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna wait 30 minutes.
Yes.
And we're gonna try it again.
Yes.
And
Because
we're gonna see what the difference is.
Because I bought this within the last week, and I sampled it only once, and I had it in a glass. I poured myself a dram, and over 45 minutes, I actually drank it. And after about 15 minutes, when I took my first sip, and then 45 minutes later, when I finished it, to my palate, it was drastically different.
All right.
So we're going to see if that
leave
holds.
it right there. Let's not reveal any more goodness. And Randy, you're going to bring us the bourbon as well to try next week, right?
Yep. And bourbon, and you know what? For the life of me, I can't remember what it is.
So another brown bag whiskey. 2 brown bag whiskeys. We're going to get in touch with our our inner street person.
That's right. And yes.
No
and whether you
offense to
like it or
people
not,
that might be
we're going to see. Right? So.
we should
Anyways.
do a cardboard box set for that one.
Yeah.
Forget the barber chairs.
Thanks for watching. It's been fun.
Thank you very much, folks. And thanks for joining us at the Daily Mail in High River, Alberta.
Yeah. Remember to subscribe.
Don't forget
hit
to
the
subscribe.
like button.
Yeah,
Or
like
if you
us.
don't, hit the dislike.
And
Whatever.
if you've got a bottle of this,
Contact us.
give us a shout. We'd
Yes.
love to taste this and
Yeah.
try this. And
That's right. The Daily Mail is on Google. You can find the phone number. Talk to Sean. Come on out. We'll put another seat right in the middle here. And you can
Absolutely.
tell us what you think about it and share a dram.
and share a dram with
Yeah.
us.
Cheers.
Cheers.